Okay, so today, let me build you up with some context. So I got an email maybe 2 weeks ago from my condo corporation being like, hey, there's some water damage in the floor behind you on the wall. I'm just curious if you have anything leaking in your unit. So I'm like, okay, let me take a quick look around. I do a quick little walk. Nothing leaking, nothing wet. I reply, I'm like, yeah, no, it ain't me. You want to come check it out or some shit? So like most well-mannered adults, they responded within a couple of hours. I responded 3 days later. It is what it is. They had to send me a second one. You guys know how I am. I'm just not very good at that stuff. So it is what it is. They sent somebody up like an hour after I reply. 3 days. Hey, it's not my problem. I'm gonna be honest. Some place that isn't my unit is being affected. It's none of my business. So anyway, I'm gonna go about my day. So some guy comes in, he looks around, he's like, oh yeah, it's like, he's got his little moisture meter. He's rubbing that shit on walls. He's like, yeah, seems pretty dry, rubbing it over there. He goes to the bathroom. He's checking like the faucet. He's like, oh, it's kind of wet. I'm like, yeah, showered like 3 hours ago. I'm sorry. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. He's like rubbing it on the wall some more. He's like, oh, okay, a little bit here. He goes on the ceiling. He's like, oh, it's really wet on the ceiling. Why is the ceiling so wet? And, he's just like fucking rubbing it all over there. And he's like, oh, it's kind of weird. I'm like, oh, you think it's the people above me? Because they suck. They ruin everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they ruin the wall and the pipe somehow. It's their fault, probably. He's like, oh, I'm going to see if I can get up there. So he like goes on his merry way, goes upstairs. I don't hear from him until today, actually. So a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks later. Oh, wait, what is the upstairs neighbor tea? We'll save that story for another day. Or like maybe there's a clip. Probably not, because everybody likes to gatekeep all of the information. But anyway, yeah, he goes up. He comes back here today. They knock on my door. Well, they call me at like noon. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever I get a call, if I don't, one, know who it is, two, know why you're calling, I'm not answering. And this isn't like a one or the other. You have to be both. And if you're not, then you're my mom. That's it. Otherwise, call me a second time. I'll be like, oh, it's urgent. Let me pick this one up. So they leave me a message. I check the message like, hey, I checked out your space like a week or two ago. And I just wanted to see if I could check it again. You don't have to call me back. I'm going to just knock on your door when I get there. I'm like, all right, say less. I delete the message and, I carry on with my day. Then, so he comes in, he brings my mortal enemy. You guys know who my mortal enemy is. I don't even remember her role, but she pisses me off. I hate her. Every time I have to interact with her, I end up mad. And you guys know you're getting the story. The dog lady. Exactly. Yes, the dog lady. Condo lady. Yes, it's one and the same, bro. One and the same. So she's like all polite at first when I open the door. The two plumbers are behind her. She's like, hey, can I come in? We wanted to check your water. And I'm like, the plumber and I are like making eye contact. He's standing behind her. We're just like, I'm like, yeah, you wanna? I like open the door all the way and I'm like gesturing with my hand to like come in and she's still just like yammering. I'm like, bro, get inside. Okay, like what do you want? Come in here. So anyway, they all come in. Naturally, she doesn't take off her shoes. Why would she do that? The main plumber guy also doesn't take off his shoes, so I'm like, I'm not gonna scold you both. I'm gonna wash my floors anyway. I just vacuumed. You know what? I'll wash it afterwards. However, second plumber guy, W-Mans, he took off his shoes. He had his little sock feet. I was like, what a little sweetie pie. So they all like come in. I'm like, yeah, bathroom's down there. I'm trying to like usher them down because I had just ripped the bowl. I wasn't worried about the smell. I just wanted to like move my bong off of the table and put it on the floor. I just don't like shoving weed in people's face. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, they go down. I tuck my things away and then I follow up. And they're all just like taking little guesses. Buddy's rubbing his shit all over the place and he's like, oh, the ceiling's a little bit soft. Do you know, did somebody just shower today? I'm like, my roommate showered at like 7 a.m. maybe, but I'm not even sure. I was asleep at that time. So like either 7 a.m. or not at all. He's like, okay, yeah, fair. It's soft. And then the condo lady looks over at me and she's like, is it normally soft? And I look at the other two dads, the other two plumbers, and I'm like, I don't know. I never touched the ceiling. Hello? And she's like, oh, well, you're tall enough to. And then all of them just like, we all just like look at each other and then go back to their business. Is it solid? Like, what do you... Girl, I'm not rubbing the ceiling when I'm in the shower just because I'm tall. Like, what? That's a weird question. And no, I don't have the answer. I'm sorry. It is what it is. What a dodo bird. Honestly, bro. Empty-headed as hell. So, you know, they finish off. I walk away. I'm, like, giggling. I'm listening to music. It doesn't matter. I had a bowl recently, like I said. So, you know, I'm fine. They all come back over to the living room. I'm like, so what's the verdict? The main guy's like, oh, well, you know what? I think, like, there's a good chance it's the people upstairs. There might be a leak in the wall, and then that's running down through, because I'm also seeing some, like, maybe a little bit of wetness around your toilet, but not, like, just through my meter, and only on the side closest to the shower. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sounds like it's probably some shower type shit. Condo lady's like, I think it's the flange. I'm like, are you a plumber? Because let's listen to the plumbers, okay? Like, shut up. Who cares what you think it is? That's none of my fucking business. So anyway, the guys just kind of ignore it, continue talking, and then I'm listening, but whenever people talk about some shit that I don't, like, know about, I only kind of half listen, you know? I don't know if you guys are the same, but, like, what do I have to put all this interest in if I don't know what's going on, right? It's like car talk. So I'm, like, half listening, whatever. And I look down, and I notice of all the places in my condo to stand, I have laminate, as you can see, right? You know? If you're gonna stand somewhere with your shoes, I mean, I guess that's, like, not the worst place to be. I don't know if you guys remember the normal carpet, that white carpet, where she decided she was gonna stand while we had this conversation about, like, what the fucking issue is. She's standing there with her feet together, and she's like, oh, you like it really cold in here, don't you? And I'm just staring at her shoes, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't taken my AC out yet. And then the other fucking plumber who, like, took off his shoes is staring at her shoes too. And I'm like, thank God I'm not the only one. And all I can think in my head is, get the fuck out of here. I hate you so much. I'm just, like, holding in all of my aggression. And the other guy is, like, saying his plan. He's like, I'm gonna go downstairs because, you know, it's weird that the wall downstairs is getting affected. Your ceiling is getting affected. And then the floor above you is getting affected. You know, it just seems like it's probably there. The condo lady, yeah, it's probably the toilet flange. Like, get out of here. Take your shoes off. Go away. So anyway, I know her shoes has been in dog poop. Probably, bro. Probably, because a few hours later, I'm, like, looking over outside on my balcony because I'm just, like, moody and I need to look out into the distance, pretend I'm the main character having a moment, you know? There she is walking her dog, and I'm like, what a freaking nemesis, bro. I can't even enjoy looking out into the distance and feeling bad for myself. You gotta take up that space, too. Anyway. So after all of that, I just have a drink. My roommate comes back a little bit later, and I get to tell him the story. I'm like, yeah, you won't believe this. And he hates her, too, because just... Did I tell you guys about his AC unit, and he had to, like, change the thing above it because it wasn't the right color? Did I tell you guys about that? Homie is just angry. Bro, I was upsetty spaghetti. I'm so glad no one visits my apartment like that. For real. For real. For a problem that's none of my business, bro. For a problem that's tell us the tea. Oh, you guys don't know. So ages ago, I moved in here over a year ago. This most recent summer, so a whole year after we've moved in, I'm on the balcony, I'm moving stuff around, I'm listening to music, I'm just, like, you know, having a good time. I got, like, earbuds in, because I'm not trying to listen to the world, bro. I look down, and I see the condo lady is talking to the person below me, and I'm like, just ignore them, just continue my shit, moving my stuff around, just trying to make things look pretty, you know? It's like, it's summertime, and maybe I want to sit outside on my deck for a little bit and just look out into the distance. I was planning on getting some fake grass to, like, put my feet in. And I'm like, oh, you know, this is going to be a nice spot. Let me make some room for it. So I'm, like, doing it, moving my tote bins around because I got some tools because I'm a man. I look over again, and she's like doing this, like, tapping her ear. I guess she wants my attention. She's like, I'm trying to talk to you. You can't hear me because you got headphones. None of my business. Maybe I don't want to hear you. Anyway, I pull them out, and I'm like, yeah. I do not like her. And she's like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, just some spring cleaning. She's like, oh, you're not going to leave those bins where I can see them, are you? I'm like, no. But in my head, I'm like, just fucking don't look at them. If you don't like looking at them, don't look at them. This is my balcony. Get out of my face. And she's like, okay. I, like, just put them back. I'm like, mad again. So I go inside, The next morning, I get an email from the condo corporation being like, hey, so one of your AC units looks like it has some brown cardboard above it. Can you change that to be white or clear like you have above your other AC unit? It doesn't look very nice. I'm like, I didn't even give you an attitude, woman. I tried to be calm, and I was not. I was mad, but I tried to remain composure, and you still just fucked me for no reason, girl. I moved the bins. Do you see that? So I go and I tell my roommate, I'm like, hey man, they don't like your cardboard. He's like, but I had the same thing in last year. I'm like, I know. They say you gotta change it, otherwise it's gonna be a fine. He's like, a fine? I'm like, yeah. He's like, fine, I'll go change it. Buddy goes out, gets a piece of Bristol board. It's like $40. $40 to get a size big enough just because, like, she didn't like the fucking brown cardboard. Change that in. I send them a, like, little email. I'm like, I got my roommate to change the cardboard to be a white piece of board. For anybody who's peering into his window, that way they won't be upset or bothered or whatever. Yeah, bro, $40 freaking dollars. Anyway, they send an email back and they're like, thanks, appreciate it. Just all simple. I'm like, oh, I didn't even get a rise out of them with my passive aggressiveness. I'm so mad. So, yeah, this lady got nothing else to do. On God, bro. On God. Like, and she said she doesn't even live in the condo area. She lives in, like, the fucking townhomes off to the side. Like, what do you... Get out of my life. You don't need to be here. Can't believe she got onto my future husband who knows nothing about me. Never mind, we hate her. Yeah, bro, she's the worst, bro. We can't take her. We can't take her. She don't need to be around anymore. We don't need her anymore.